checked out last week's video already, you'll know I unboxed a display case for the first 12 Star Wars figures. And what I'm going to do now is quickly show you some of the figures I've got for that display case. Then at the end of the video I'll show you how far I've got with the collection and what I'm going to do next to get that display case filled with the epic first 12 Star Wars figures. So basically what I need to do is find a first set of 12 figures for this case. I'm not going to use those ones behind me, but because I have a toy museum upstairs, I have a few of these already. But I need to go and see what I've got, what condition they're in, and whether the weapons are genuine or not, so we can get this display started. And then sometime in the future I'm going to show you another video when I've got the completed set of figures. Right, let's go up to the museum and see what we've got to get this display started. Right, my first job is to see how many of the figures I've got or that I need and what condition the ones that I've got in. Now I know the ones up here are probably some of the better ones that I've swapped out with the ones downstairs. I shouldn't say that. And I appreciate that not many of you are going to have a loft that you can walk into and be able to pick out a lot of the first 12 figures without having to do a lot of groundwork trying to find them. But I've been collecting duplicates for a very long time. In fact, I think the Stormtrooper that I need for this set is there. I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you. I don't know if you can see him. That is the Stormtrooper that I need for the display case over there. And as you can see, the guy at the back is melting in the heat that we are submitted to from this skylight here. This is my real Sterling submachine gun Stormtrooper blaster, and that is my ARS Prop Masters helmet, and this is a phenomenally heavy piece of glass that I'm not able to lift at the moment because after my surgery I'm a bit split in two, and that was a year ago. So I've got to figure out a way of getting him out of there. Don't know how I'm going to do that. Right, first figure I need, oh sorry, right, hello. Right, first figure I need, just get rid of that. Can be really careful with this so I don't want to scratch anything. First figure I need is R2-D2. I think what I'm going to do now is peel the backing of this. It's fiddly, there we go. I hope you can see that better now. It's all etched with the figures and the names. Now I would question the order that they put them in, but it might be more for display than the order that they were released in. Oh, that's a satisfyingly... So in here you get this display acrylic. So this is from a different company to this. The box I think cost just about 30 quid with a tenner's postage, and I think this was about 25. But there is a lot of work gone into etching this, and what I'm going to say is that that fit in there is snap tight, which is rather fantastic and very satisfying. Just get my greasy fingerprints off it as well. So that means that these figures are going to be very, very securely fitted into this display. Yeah, that's very, very satisfying. I love it when things are done with a little bit of precision. Right, I'm going to first of all it's a little bit of yellowing on the sticker, but his condition is pretty fantastic. So first of all is my R2-D2. Why they never made a figure with the third leg, if you'll pardon the expression. I've no idea why they never did that. So he's going on there. Next up is Princess Leia. Okay, so here's my first issue. I think that is split with heat up here, because I remember her being pretty minty. Oops. Now don't hate me for saying this, but oh, it's blue tack, that's alright. In the olden days, I used to Yoo-hoo glue the guns into the hands to stop them falling out, because invariably they would, which I cringe at the fact I did that now, because I've damaged lots of these figures. Now this cape has split with the heat up here, and I had no idea that had happened. So, although we have a Princess Leia, that's my first reject for this display case, and that's going to be a hard figure to find in good condition with a blaster. Now the one I have downstairs that I may have edited out of this video, but I did film earlier on, the one I have downstairs is in pretty good condition, but it belongs to that set, so I'm not going to split them up. It does have an original blaster with it, but me being a clumsy pillock, I snapped that blaster in half. So it actually has a real blaster that's super glued together on the base, and then in her hand is a reproduction one, which if anyone was to buy the set, I would obviously tell them that. We think there are a couple of reproduction weapons in there that we know about. There are a couple that we need to test, and you can do that using a website called the Imperial Gunnery. They have a lot of tests and a lot of the information on what is correct with these old toys, so that you can always go and check them. It's a brilliant resource, and I will put a link to that in the description below as well. But my first reject is Princess Leia, and I'm going to have to find a good one of those with a vinyl cape and a blaster, which I have a feeling is going to be well over 100 quid. Next up, Chewbacca. Now, I think I have a Chewbacca. Actually, I've got two Chewbaccas. Let's take a look at both of those. Okay, so I've got two Chewbacca figures. I'm going to bring the camera around here and then I can show you up close. Okay, so I've got two Chewbacca figures. One has, can you see the colour of the arms has changed over time, so you've got kind of a yellowing of the arms, whereas this one, the arms have stayed the good colour, and it's the body that's melted, and it's the body that's changed colour. So you've got two, I've not got my good glasses on, I think we've got two different leg markings on those, which shows the different plastics used in the arms and the bodies, which can go a little bit weird in daylight over time, which is a shame, but you're never going to escape that. Those are two pretty good figures though. In fact, he is rather fantastic. Apart from these bodies a bit of a different colour. All the paintwork's good on it. The blaster's really good, the pouch is good. He's in great nick, so I think I'm going to use him. Although I may change him later on for one of a different colour. Next figure we have. So the next figure I have going in the display is a Chewbacca. Gosh, they fit so really very well. Han Solo. Right, now in the original 12 there were two versions of the Han Solo, the tiny head and the big head. I will show you them both now. Oh yeah, what's going on? So these are the two variants of the Han Solo figure, the original one. And as you can see, we have two different head sculpts. So this is the first one that was released. This is a pretty good condition figure. The leg stripes are pretty good. There's a little bit of wear, there's a little bit of wear into the hair, but that's to be expected. This was the second sculpt. What Kenner decided was that this didn't look good enough, and the figure would be better value if it had this stupid fat head, and it was supposed to look more like Harrison Ford. I can't think who it looks more like. I think that's a much nicer figure. Right, so that's the one that's going in the case. Who's next? Luke Skywalker. Now, I have not got another farm boy Luke, so that's dead easy. I'm going to have to find a decent farm boy Luke with a complete lightsaber in good condition, which again is going to cost me a lot of money, because it's a rare, hard to find figure. All the lightsabers on the ones I've got downstairs, the tips have snapped off, one's been chewed by a kid, but they are the closest I've been able to find so far. in good condition. So my quest now is for a good Farm Boy Luke. That's not going to be easy. So that's 5 figures down, and we are 2 strikes out already. This is going to be an expensive display to complete, and I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. That's part of the thrill, isn't it? Next figure I need to go and find is Sand People. I know, it's what they call it on the card thing when we know that one of them is a Sand Persons, Sand People, Sand People, Sand People. Now, I know I'm extremely lucky that I bought a collection many years ago, so I know these are all original, all complete, even though we have checked them. But they've all got the original vinyl capes and weapons, which is what we want for this display, because we want this to be right. But I know he is all good and kosher, so he's the next... I just dropped his steak on there. So he's the next addition to the display, if I wasn't so clumsy. They actually designed the figure as well, so he could, like in the movie, hold the stick above his head and shake it angrily and make that weird noise that they made. Again, the next one is an easy one for me. It's a Darth Vader. I actually have 2 mint ones, but in fact I'll go and get them and show you. That's the best way. Okay, so Darth Vaders we have a few of. Now this is one that I've had, I don't know what's happened to his head, but I mean the bubble on that is really badly crushed. But I know it's an original cape and an original lightsaber. I'm so tempted to open that, even though it's unpunched. There has been something that's gone pierced right through the card there, which is a shame. And I'm not sure, and I don't know if the camera can pick this up or not because it's very shiny, if the head is actually snapped off the figure because it's at a weird angle. I think it's from the way it's been crushed in that packaging, which is such a shame. But we have 2 Darth Vaders here, and unfortunately, the tip of that lightsaber, in fact a lot of that lightsaber is completely faded because it's directly in the sun where it is in the case, which is a shame because the rest of that figure is pretty mint. Well, it's not, it's got some marks on the back of the cape, but it's an original cape. All the paintwork's really good on it, the face features are good, it's just where it's been stood in the case. If I push that out, the lightsaber tip has faded over time there, and at the back there. But, as luck would have it, I do have another one, but the detailing on the front there, his electronics on his chest pack are not as well painted, but this lightsaber is pretty mint. Got a little bit of a banana to it, and that cape is a little bit wonky. So I think what I'm going to do is swap the lightsabers over in these, and that is going to be my Darth Vader for this display. And that's a very noisy seagull. Right, let's swap those lightsabers over. And again I will say, if you want to check out the Imperial Gunnery website, they will give you all the tips and tricks for identifying and authenticating these. So that is my Darth Vader for this display. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 5 out of 7 figures so far, which is not a bad result at all. What I'm going to do in a minute is show you them all set up, and then you can take a look at them and see what you think of this display case, because I think it's going to look really fantastic, to be fair. I'm just getting this other lightsaber back in here, the faded one, on the less good figure. So that is the display so far. R2-D2 Chewbacca, Han Solo with the small head, which was the first one. The Sand People. Yeah, it's Sand People, not a Sand Person. You'd think one of them is a Sand Person, but it's not. And Darth Vader. So we've got Ben Kenobi. I think I've got a Stormtrooper sorted, a C-3PO, a Death Squad Commander. I think I've got those. So really all I'm missing is a Farm Boy Luke with a complete lightsaber. The ones there are all broken. A Princess Leia with a cape and blaster, because my cape had split in the heat upstairs and I only have a broken blaster, and we're not putting reproductions in here, so it's got to be all original. And of course a Jawa. Now there's no way on earth I'm going to be able to get my hands on a vinyl cape Jawa unless anyone in the universe has one that they would like to send my way. So I think we're going to try and, well, I know we're going to try and get the normal Jawa with the cloth cape, but I need one with an original gun again, which is proving quite hard to find, and they are shooting up in price. So that's the display so far. I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see it, but there is rather a lot of reflection there from the camera. Oops, Chewbacca's wobbling. But that gives you an idea of what the display is going to look like. I think it's going to be epic when it's finished. What I've done as well is cut out some black card for the base and the back so you can see the figures better, although you can't really see the Darth Vader. And what we're going to try and do is get the Star Wars First 12 Mail Away logo put on the back there, make it look a little bit more interesting and a bit more groovy. But this display case is awesome, and so is the stand. If you have any questions as well, please leave them in the comment section below, and links to the places where I got the cases from and the Imperial gunnery and that kind of thing will be in the description below. The base, I think, is a Synergy stand, and all those little plastic circular stands that you get for the figures clip in fantastically, so it fits really well. And then the outer case is GW acrylics, and I think we've done a smashing job, both companies, of making this display. I have a very cool this week's pickup video which will be coming shortly as well. I'm just in the process of editing that, so I'll get that posted soon if you would check that out. If you haven't seen the video of me unboxing this display case, please check it out because it'll be linked somewhere at the end of this video. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is get my hands on the rest of these figures, and then I'll update you once this is complete. So for now, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon for another video.